We had been on this train for what seemed like days. Crowded and hot just begins to describe how awful this train ride has been. The worst part of the ride is always at night, because we couldn't see where we were going. Most of the guys here have never even been left their homes before, including myself. A majority of us were on our way to fight in France. Everyone in the car was hot, tired, hungry, and scared. We were all worried what would be awaiting us when we reached our final destination. All of a sudden, the conductor entered the car and shouted, "Dennison, next stop!" Just then, everyone in the train started to get excited. I was amazed and bewildered by all the activity this stirred up. Soldiers began talking from one end of the car to the other, laughing and joking and getting spruced up. Curiously, I asked, "Hey fellas, what's up?" One replied, "This is Dennison. Don't you know Dennison? Why, everyone from coast to coast knows Dennison." Another soldier chimed in, "Yeah, we call Dennison Dreamsville. They have the best food, nicest smiles, and the prettiest girls in the whole country." A third man said, "There is nothing better than Dennison. Thank goodness we are stopping. I could eat a horse, I am so hungry." At that moment, I became excited too. We hadn't eaten anything since 3 stops ago to pick up water in Illinois. I kept my eyes peeled to the window and waited to see something. The train started to slow, and out of the darkness, I could see the station lights. They were shining bright. Women dressed all in white were standing ready to serve us, their signs reading, "Free food to servicemen." We stopped right outside the depot, and the whistle blew, meaning we could get off. It was chaos as we all tried to rush out of the train car doors to get to the food that was awaiting for us. As I stepped out, I breathed in the crisp Ohio autumn air. It reminded me of home. Just then the conductor yelled, "Boys, you only have 10 minutes. We will not wait for you, so get moving." I ran over to get in line for my food. When I reached the First Lady, she was passing out sandwiches. I said to her, "You probably won't serve me. I'm not from Ohio." She looked at me in shock and asked, "Well, you're an American, aren't you?" I responded, "Yes, ma'am, I am an American." Then she stated while handing me a sandwich, "Well, then we would love to serve you. We would be happy to serve you." I couldn't believe I was thrilled to pieces. She smiled, and I smiled back at her. "Thank you," I said. With sandwich in hand, I walked past her to the next lady. She was handing out sugar cookies. Oh, my favorite. As I reached for a cookie, I grabbed her hand and remember holding on to it for just a moment. She stopped and she looked up at me. She then said, "You're one of the first people I have ever seen here. Most of the time, there are so many soldiers passing through, I don't ever get to see anyone." She joked, "My own brother could be standing in front of me, and I would never have known, because all I ever see are the hands." She smiled, and I smiled back and said, "Thank you." The next woman I ran into must have been in charge, because she was shouting orders at everyone. She was holding a large coffee container and pouring coffee into small, white wax cups. "Bring me more cups," she shouted as I approached her. "Hello, son. What's your name?" "My name is Joseph Maxwell. Most people call me Joe," I said. "Nice to meet you, Joe. My name's Lucille Nestorfer. I started the canteen here in Dennison." "Thank you, Mrs. Nestorfer. How much for a cup of coffee?" I asked. "First off, you can call me Lucille, and it's all free for you boys. It's the least what we could do for what you're doing for us," she said. "Well, now I see why all my buddies call Dennison Dreamsville." "Thank you, Lucille. Thanks a lot." She smiled at me, told me you were welcome, and started yelling at another worker to bring out more sandwiches. The warning whistle blew, and we were all running back up to the train to get on. Inside the car, the atmosphere had changed. Everyone was happy and excited and telling jokes. One soldier said he got one of the girls' addresses and was going to write to her. I reached my seat, pulled out my sandwich out of the wax paper bag, and started eating it. The sandwich tasted so good, bologna and Swiss cheese on white bread. I then devoured the sugar cookie and guzzled the coffee down. All of it tasted so good. The train gave a sudden lurch and started moving. I looked out the window and saw all the ladies waving goodbye. I saw the hope in their eyes for us and heard someone yell, "We will see you when you come back." The feeling my buddies and I felt at the canteen is something we will never forget. It is so amazing how wonderful those ladies were and how much they cared about what we were going to do. I finished my sandwich and stared at the sandwich bag. I folded it neatly and placed it in my pocket. Thank you, Dreamsville. Thanks a lot.